boarded this plane to go after Stravinsky. As the vampire who'd masterminded the inhumane experiments, the madman behind the terrorism, he needed to be staked. But 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't have been boarding this plane alone. Calvin would have been with me. Now I was bonded to Rachel, whether she realized it or not. Boarding this plane was a ruse to throw anyone watching off my trail, so I could track who went after her. But part of me wanted to board anyway. The desire to kill Stravinsky was almost as strong as the bond I had with Rachel, even if she didn't know it yet. However, my allegiance had changed, as hard as that was to accept. I tugged the long gloves further up my arms, pulled my cowl over my head, and stepped out of the airport and onto the street. I raised my hand and flagged down a cab. Madre de Dios. Stravinsky should be my top priority. But seeing Rachel on the screen only confirmed I couldn't leave her alone to face the fallout from her report, which, judging from the reactions of the airport passengers, would be of the nuclear variety. Worse, I felt a tug toward her, like she needed me. I couldn't turn away from that gut instinct. "Where are you off to?" the cabbie asked. "The Warner News Station," I said, keeping my voice low and soothing. He nodded, a smile on his generous lips. "You see the report on vampires?" I blinked several times as I tugged the cowl closer around my head. That was fast. If word was already out on the street. "How did you hear about it?" "Twitter is a wonderful thing. You know, I check everything that's #vampire. I've been hoping something like this would come up." His green eyes swept up to the rearview mirror. "What do you think? You believe in the boogeyman?" He spoke flippantly as he steered the cab into traffic. I sat up so I could see his name badge on the dash. "Ivan?" "Yep, that's me. Shitty name if you don't mind me saying so, but my mother's favorite uncle died young, and, well, you get the picture." He smiled, and white teeth blinked back at me. "Russian, isn't it?" I softened my words even more, a niggling suspicion at the back of my neck. He nodded several times as he steered us through traffic. "Yeah. You good with nationalities?" I dropped my voice further yet, a whisper of a whisper. "Yes. And where do you think I'm from, Ivan?" His grin never faltered. "Well, it's hard to say with that dark hoodie on, but your voice has a bit of an accent. Maybe Italy?" Close. I barely breathed the word out. What kind of game was he playing? Or was I being too fucking jaded yet again? I leaned back in my seat but kept my hands at the top of my boots, where my silver stakes resided. They would work on supernaturals other than vampires, including what I suspected was Ivan's particular flavor of monster. His smell was distinct, like the smell of fresh snow and maple syrup. We made it to the TV station without incident. Perhaps it should have told me something, that when a simple car ride was quiet, I got nervous. I pushed the money through the slot in the plastic barrier, making sure my fingers brushed his. A flicker of energy snapped across our hands, and his eyes shot to mine. He was far from harmless. But he wasn't the raving maniac so many of his kind ended up being. A kid. He was a kid compared to my age. Rachel wouldn't want me to hurt him, and that was the only thing that kept me from driving my stake through the plastic and into the back of his neck. I lifted the corner of my mouth so he could clearly see a single fang. "Ivan, not only do I believe the boogeyman is real, I know him quite well. Or should I say, her." His mouth dropped open and he spluttered as I slid out of the cab, which was why it shouldn't have surprised me when he stepped out of the cab as well. "Wait, I want to talk to you." I rolled my eyes but didn't stop. "Go home to your kennel, Ivan." He let out a snarl and whipped around in front of me. Taller than me, his light green eyes were closer to chartreuse. Attached